It seems like every time you log into social media, you find conflicting statements about the All for Transportation referendum on the ballot. It can be confusing, so I reached out to both sides to ask them about the plan, the pros and the cons. I asked the people opposed about all the pros and the people in favor about all the cons. And after carefully considering both sides, I'm ready now to make my decision about All for Transportation, as well as hopefully add some clarity to you if you're still undecided. And before I do that, I want to state quite clearly, I've not been compensated or asked by either side to make this video. I'm doing this of my own choice and realize that taking any side to a matter this contentious is bound to create a dialogue. And I'm okay with that. I have faith that the citizens of Tampa are more sophisticated than being just a one-issue voter. I've got friends on both sides of the amendment too, and you know what? We're still friends. Let's just make sure the dialogue creates positive insight, not negative insight. All right, here's the first question. What does the 1% investment actually pay for? The basic things includes filling up potholes to road surfacing, including complete streets with sidewalks and bike lanes and safer intersections. All for Transportation is not advocating for any specific transit mode. It's advocating for multiple types of services, including maintaining and expanding current services like our buses, streetcars, and even technology with transit services. Once the basic needs that have been outlined are met, the goal is to alleviate the $9 billion backlog that exists in Tampa's transportation needs right now. Question number 2. Why doesn't this plan specify exactly how they'll spend our money? Because the plan is designed to be flexible enough to stand the test of time. What makes the community and the roads safe today will be different in the future. The plan recognizes that we will need to fund different projects in different places in our county that may not even exist today. By supporting a plan with a strong structure, we can ensure that all parts of our county get equal attention and equal access to funds to solve transportation predicaments. However, the plan does provide structure around politicians to make sure that they can't spend the money on whatever they want unrelated to public transit. But within the structure, it gives them the flexibility to fund different projects in different places that will evolve over the next 30 years. Basically, it provides the flexibility where it needs with a rigid structure to prevent misuse by politicians. If you want any more details on some of the specifics, check the websites listed in the comments section of this video. Funding will also be used on projects already adopted by the city and county boards, which includes citizen surveys and workshops. Next question, and here's the big one everyone is asking. Is this a shell game for funding the Rays Stadium? No. No money of this can go to the Rays. It's written in the plan explicitly, which I'll include a link to the petition in the comments on this video below. However, that doesn't address a similar concern. A lot of people have been assuming that if All for Transportation were to get passed, then there would be unused government money to move the Rays to Ybor. This is just not possible. The city's transportation budget is currently around $7 million, which is generated from a combination of gas tax revenues and mobility fees. According to Gene Duncan, Director of Transportation for the City of Tampa, we need about $40 million just to maintain our current infrastructure. This massive deficit is our reason why our roads only get paved once every 75 years. So in terms of the city budget, not even a dime could be moved toward funding the stadium. Now on the county level, we have a budget of approximately $80 to $120 million, but this includes state as well as federal grants. The majority of these grants tend to be one-time grants for specific projects, so they can't be moved around or used for other needs. Now, the county has decided to put in approximately $800 million additional dollars toward transportation over the next 10 years. But even that money already has been allocated for specific initiatives. And sadly for us locals in Tampa, not even a single penny from that will be spent within the city limits. It will all be for the unincorporated areas. And again, those funds can't go toward funding the Rays Stadium. Those funds have already been allocated. So if they do, the county can be sued, and they would. But basically, here's the deal. If our elected officials want to move the Rays to Tampa, they're going to find a way to do it anyway, and it has nothing to do with All for Transportation. If you don't want the raise in Ybor City, then rather than vote down this referendum, just don't vote for the politicians eager to move the raise with city or county funds. This plan shows commitment to our infrastructure, which can allow more federal or state grants or funding opportunities. And that opens up even more funds available to our county without impacting the county. Here's a very basic, rough example of how some state programs match dollar for dollar the amount of money a county has allocated to a transportation plan. So hypothetically, if the county can show a $10 million budget for a transportation plan, the state may then allocate another $10 million to that plan, doubling its budget. Then some federal plans will match dollar for dollar the amount the county and state has allocated, so that $20 million can be matched from federal grants, providing a total of $40 million available funds for our original investment of only $10 million. Now, it's unlikely, by the way, that all of the revenue generated from All for Transportation would get those matching funds. But even if a small percentage did, that could equate to millions of additional funds to make our roads better, our transit systems more robust, and our overall quality of life in Tampa a better place to live, work, and play. Is this referendum perfect? No, nothing is. But we can't let perfection get in the way of progress. At the end of the day, this initiative is the best first step created by some of the most dedicated citizens of Tampa. Supporting this initiative will help us take a much needed first step to solving our problem, and hey, maybe even fund some aerial urban gondolas in the near future. I'm Topher Morrison, and I am all for transportation.